Okay, hey guys, I am back. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite podcast. That's right, podcast. An audio experience that is entertaining for me. So, like I said in the previous video, I've been listening to a ton of podcasts during my time, but even before during my time, my chair is making sounds. Can you hear it? Oh, it stopped. Okay. So even before I was a huge fan of podcasts, still is. So here are some of my favorites. Okay, the Friendzone, hosted by Asante, Hey Friend Hey, and Dustin Ross. They talk about wellness, music, and reality TV, and it's completely hilarious. The Read, if you don't know anything about the Read, I think you need to do some Googles. The Read is probably I should have started off with the Read. The Read is probably like the mother of all podcasts. They're the one who really kind of opened the door to the podcast realm. It's hosted by Kid Fairy and Crystal. They talk about mental health. They talk about celebrity culture, and they also answer a lot of listeners letters, and they also talk about what's going on in the country right now. And they have an angle where it's funny, they make you laugh, but they also make you think about life. So I love the Read. That's probably my my fave that I make sure I subscribe and listen to every week. Therapy for Black Girls. I think it's very easy to say what that podcast is about. It's hosted by Dr. Joy Reid. Joy Reid? Dr. Joy. Who's Joy Reid? Dr. Joy. Yes. Hosted by Dr. Joy. I don't know who the hell is a Joy Reid. Dr. Joy is basically the mental health for Black women and also men as well. And they also have an amazing resource on their website where you can find therapists in certain states or virtually. So definitely, if you're looking for a Black therapist, please go to Therapy for Black Girl for more information. Dates and Mates. Again, I'm not dating like that, but I enjoy Desdemona, I believe. I'm butchering everyone's name. Desdemona, she talks about all these different dating strategies and dating rules and non-rules and things like that, and she's hella entertaining. She have a ton of guests talking about how to communicate, certain languages to use, certain strategies to use in dating, certain trends that's happening in dating, especially like with apps and now with like this whole FaceTiming and virtual dating that people are doing right now during the pandemic. It's such a great resource. Talking about dating, I was actually on a podcast called the Situationships Podcast. I will link that particular podcast below, but that's also another dope podcast to listen to because it interview a lot of millennials dealing with dating and how they've been maneuvering. So definitely check that out. Another dating-ish podcast, the Whoreible Decisions. It's way more involving sex and kinks, but the two girls, Wheezy and Mandy, they're hilarious. Hilarious. To have two women of color talking about sex unapologetically, it's amazing and so just, fearless for them to kind of open that space for women to feel comfortable talking about sex and what makes them feel good. Where We Should Begin is by Esther Perel. She is a therapist. She's like a relationship therapist. I think there's different levels of therapists, so I'm not sure. Yeah, she's a therapist. Great podcast. She interviews, well, not interviews. She kind of goes into a session between another couple, and man, I've definitely shed some tears listening to her podcast. Just hearing people's kind of like life and how their life kind of impact their relationship with their loved one. It's I would definitely suggest listening to that. Another one, Earn Your Leisure, is by two Black men. Talk about financial wealth and gaining financial independence in the Black community. Very important. ton of tools. It's like a huge resource. Those guys are super talented and informed. School of Greatness by Lewis Howes. Another one that I think I binged listened to his podcast one week when I was at work, because I was just so inspired by all the stories of people talking about how they started to, the trials and tribulations just in their lives and the lessons they learn, and how they define greatness in their life. So that's another one. Another thing, being that, I am in fashion, I do have a ton of fashion podcasts that I would suggest to you. I already wrote about it on my blog, so I will definitely post the link of my favorite fashion podcast below. And I also wrote about my favorite podcasts regarding career and navigating your career. So yes, so there's a ton of podcasts that I listen to for just different, oh my god, it's 6 minutes already, just for different things. If I need to know how to negotiate, if I need to know how to stocks and invest, what are the dating, what are the kinks, what's happening in this on reality TV, what's happening in the country. There's so many podcasts that I've been definitely tuned into that's been so informed for me. So I hope that helps. Let me know what you think. Let me know what's your favorite podcast. Maybe I need to learn some more. If you have any ideas, any tips, any sort of, if you're starting your own podcast, let me know. I've thought about starting a podcast. I don't think so, because I don't like to talk that much, but you never know. So thank you guys again. Please like, subscribe, all that good jazz. Talk to you later.